Inclusion versus exclusion, two sides of the populist coin. Populist movements often claim they are fighting for the ordinary people, but that begs the question, who exactly are these ordinary people? Who is included and who is not? Some populist movements genuinely want a more inclusive society where everyone feels they belong and have a voice. They might push for policies that fight inequality, discrimination, and unfairness, like universal healthcare, affordable housing, or protections for minority groups. But other populist movements go the opposite way. They might target specific groups based on things like race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation. They might scapegoat these groups, blaming them for society's problems like unemployment or cultural change. This can lead to really harmful policies that discriminate against those groups and make them feel like outsiders. The division between groups can be really attractive, especially if you feel left out or like no one's listening to you. It creates a sense of belonging and a clear enemy to rally against. But it can also be dangerous because it oversimplifies complex issues. Real-world problems rarely have such easy answers. This black and white thinking can make it hard to find common ground and work together to solve those problems. Populism and the identity politics puzzle. Another important discussion we need to have is regarding identity politics. This is when political action focuses on the interests and experiences of specific groups based on their shared identity. It can be a powerful tool for bringing attention to issues that affect marginalized communities, but it can also be divisive if it's not handled carefully. Populist movements have a complicated relationship with identity politics. Some movements embrace it, using it to rally support for marginalized groups and push for policies that address their specific needs. For example, a populist movement might focus on the concerns of the working class people or women, advocating for policies that improve their economic and social well-being. Other populist movements, especially those on the far right, reject identity politics as divisive and harmful. They might argue that it emphasizes differences rather than commonalities and that it leads to a fragmented society where everyone is fighting for their own narrow interests. Instead, they might emphasize a national identity that supposedly transcends individual differences. The impact on our world. How populism handles social issues can have a huge impact on our world. Inclusive populism, which seeks to unite people across different backgrounds and address common concerns, can lead to a more just and equitable society. But exclusionary populism, which targets and scapegoats certain groups, can be incredibly destructive. It can fuel hatred, discrimination, and even violence. It can also undermine social cohesion, making it harder for us to work together to solve the complex challenges we face. Think for yourself. Don't believe the hype. When it comes to populism and social issues, it is necessary to think for yourself. Don't just buy into those simple stories and divisive messages. Look beyond the catchy slogans and emotional appeals. Ask yourself, who is this movement really representing? What are their actual policies and how will they affect different groups in society? Are they promoting unity or division? Are they offering real solutions or just scapegoating and blaming others?